Hey, how you doing? A little bit of a close-up. We are going to the whiteboard again because today we are talking about power outputs across longer time domains. And when I say longer time domains, I mean longer than about 10 minutes because we are rowing a 5K today. I say this in the WOD brief, and your coaches will say this, a 5K is actually better than a 2K. 2K is one of the worst distances to row from a intensity standpoint. And when I say worse, it like feels the worst. It's one of the greatest training tools. But a 5K, you have to pace it. And we're going to explain why in the context of the metabolic pathways that CrossFit defined in the level 1 manual and that we look at for optimal training stimuli. All right, what am I talking about? So here we go. Up on the board, you will notice that we have a series of lines and charts and graphs and blah, blah, blah. The three words that you can see there, the phosphagen, glycolytic, and oxidative pathways. What does that mean? That means that the percentage of your output, the percentage that your power output is being handled by one of those three pathways. Pretty much at all times, all three of those pathways are working. It's just a matter of how much a percentage of volume of the power output that you're getting is coming from one of them. So when we start at 0 time, let's say a heavy deadlift, the majority of your energy is coming from your phosphagen pathway. What that means is your stored ATP in your muscles. It does not need any oxygen. It is ready access energy that you have available to you, and you can have very, very high power output, but unfortunately for only a very short duration of time. About 10 seconds, but really max about 12 to 15 before you kind of bottom out. Think about that back squat, that 5-rep back squat or that 3-rep deadlift, where you go to get that like 3rd, 4th, 5th rep and there's just nothing there. Well, that is when the glycolytic pathway kicks in and its power output. Now we're talking about volume. We don't have like actual power output up here, but that volume, that's when that glycolytic takes over. This you can think of as like a 250 meter sprint, maybe even like a 500 meter sprint, because now what we're doing is we move down our timeline to about the minute 90 second point. This is mostly anaerobic, a little bit aerobic, but primarily anaerobic, and does elicit a little bit of waste product in lactic acid. So there's some lactate left over because it does use a little bit of oxygen, a little bit of, I don't remember the rest because I'm not that big of a nerd yet, but working on it. So this is our middle time domain to about 90 seconds. At about the 90-second mark, and if you've ever done something that is a max effort for 2 minutes, try 50 calories on the Echo Bike for time, right about here, 1 minute to 90 seconds, it's like everything wants to shut down because that's the point that we shift to our oxidative state. And this is when that volume goes up to mostly oxidative. But the beauty of a row is every time you come up to the catch, sorry, my camera keeps going to focus on my finger. Every time you come up to the catch, that clicks back in. Every time you come back through the drive, that clicks in. Every time you're going through your recovery, it's primarily oxidative, meaning you're using oxygen to convert energy, glycogen in your muscle stores to giving you actual power output. So anything longer than about 2 minutes is primarily oxidative. A 2K or anything longer than a 500 meter row is going to be a sprint, but also a little bit paced, but it's short. So that's where I'm saying the 2K distance is one of the worst because it's not so long that you have to pace it, but it's not so long that you can't come out pretty hot and hold on. But a 5K, we are way past that 2-minute mark and we're way out here in our pacing strategy. So you have to pace it. So your power output across the 5K is lower, meaning your intensity is lower, but it's longer. And that's why it's a great test of your metabolic endurance, or one of our 10 general physical skills, endurance and stamina, 2 of them we test with this 5K. There's some other skill technique with rowing and stuff, but anyway, that's your nerding out lesson for today on the metabolic pathways in CrossFit. Phosphagen, glycolytic, oxidative. Think short, fast, hard. Think medium, about 90 seconds. And then everything else that's longer than that, that's your oxidative. And that is what we talk about with your lactate threshold and your ability for VO2 max and blah, 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 blah. Have fun, 5K, get after it. See you on the creek.